Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're putting on our CEO hats. We're going to adopt the mindset of an experienced agribusiness strategist to guide you through what is honestly one of the most critical, yet completely overlooked phases of building an agricultural enterprise in Africa. I'm talking about the legal foundations. Look, if you want to play in the big leagues, you just can't rely on handshakes and informal agreements anymore. You absolutely need structure.
But before we build that empire, we have to ask, are you truly ready to tackle the legal stuff? Because that is exactly what transforms an informal farm into a highly structured, protected, and formal business. As an agribusiness strategist, I see countless incredible agricultural innovators just stall out because they treat legal work as an afterthought. We're changing that narrative today. We're going to turn legal compliance from a boring bureaucratic hurdle into your absolute most powerful strategic advantage.
So, here's our strategic roadmap for today. We'll look at why legal foundations matter, registering your new agribusiness, securing land and assets, protecting intellectual property, contracts and dispute resolution, and finally, your agribusiness strategic checklist.
Let's jump right into Section 1, Why Legal Foundations Matter, Protecting Assets, and Unlocking Finance.
We have to begin with the foundation, figuring out exactly why these legal steps are not just red tape, but essential shields for your personal wealth and the literal keys to unlocking bank funding. We're drawing our insights today directly from Pamela Anioti-Paranachi. She's a brilliant agribusiness strategist, coach, and former technical advisor for the FAO. She emphasizes that mastering this legal framework, which she affectionately calls the legal stuff, is your very first real step as a CEO. You see, transitioning from a farmer to an agribusiness owner requires a massive mindset shift. It's about realizing your farm is a legal entity totally separate from yourself.
And these essential legal pillars we're looking at, they aren't just some boring to-do list. They are your business armor. Focusing on compliance, intellectual property, and access to finance guarantees your personal assets remain safe. That means if the business takes a hit, your family home isn't suddenly on the line. Plus, it ensures you meet the strict requirements needed to unlock vital finance. Banks and investors in Africa, they do not fund informal ideas. No way. They fund legally recognized entities. Setting this up early also ensures compliance with international standards, which completely opens up those super lucrative export markets for your products.
Moving on to Section 2, registering your new agribusiness, focusing on Uganda and Rwanda case studies.
Take a look at the specific sequence required for registration in Uganda. The source heavily warns that requirements vary wildly depending on the specific type of business you're setting up. For instance, a small family cooperative is treated very differently under the law than a massive commercial export farm. So your absolute first critical step is seeking professional legal or consulting advice before you file a single piece of paper. Trying to navigate this alone can easily lead to filing under the wrong structure, which, trust me, can severely limit your access to finance down the road.
It's a very similar story when we look at the Rwanda case study. We see almost the exact same strategic approach. First, identify your exact agribusiness category. Second, secure professional advisory services. And only then do you actually execute the registration steps. The source is explicitly clear here. These steps are not exhaustive. Bureaucracies evolve all the time and local laws shift. This just reinforces that engaging a local legal consultant is essentially mandatory if you want to navigate these frameworks efficiently. By paying for expert advice up front, you're literally saving yourself from catastrophic expensive structural errors later on.
All right, Section 3, securing land and assets, the physical foundation.
Once your business legally exists on paper, you've got to formally secure the literal ground your enterprise is built on. In many parts of Africa, land acquisition can be incredibly complex. It often exists in this tricky gray area between customary local traditions and formal national law. Proper land acquisition and formalized, legally documented ownership protect the very core of your agribusiness from sudden disputes, ancestral claims, or just devastating financial loss. As a strategist, I literally cannot stress this enough. Without formal legal rights to your land, your entire investment is just sitting on borrowed time.
Which brings us to Section 4, protecting intellectual property, securing your brand.
So once your land is physically secure, we have to talk about your intangible assets. The legal landscape here is packed with dense jargon, so let's simplify it. Think of intellectual property, or IP, as the lock and key for your brand's unique identity. In agribusiness, this isn't just about some high-tech lab invention. It's the legal protection of your unique brand name, your farm's logo, or maybe a really unique agricultural processing method you came up with. Formalizing your IP means that as your reputation grows, no one else can just swoop in, copy your brand, and steal the profits from the trust you worked so hard to build.
Next up, Section 5, Contracts and Dispute Resolution, the walls and roof.
Okay, so here's the crucial point. With your foundation poured, your business registered, and your assets locked down, you still have to govern your day-to-day relationships. That's exactly where contract law and dispute resolution come into play. Think of contract law as the walls of your business. It strictly defines the formal agreements you have with suppliers, logistics partners, and buyers, so everyone knows exactly what's expected, when, and for how much. Dispute resolution, on the other hand, well, that's the roof. It protects your operations when those agreements inevitably get challenged. Instead of everything falling apart and dragging through a slow, expensive public court, dispute resolution gives you pre-planned, highly efficient legal methods to solve conflicts quietly and get right back to business.
Finally, we've reached Section 6, your agribusiness strategic checklist, putting it together.
Let's distill everything we've talked about into a totally actionable, step-by-step roadmap just for you, the new agribusiness owner. It flows chronologically. Step 1, register and license your entity so you're compliant and can unlock bank finance. Step 2, acquire land formally for rock-solid asset protection. Step 3, protect your IP to lock down your brand and ideas. Step 4, use contract law to formally draft all your relationship expectations. And Step 5, always have a dispute resolution plan in place to mitigate future risks. If you follow these 5 steps in this exact order, you aren't just building a productive farm. You're building an agribusiness that is legally resilient, internationally compliant, and fully focused on protecting your personal wealth.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to take a hard look at your own enterprise. Take that strategist's view for a second. Are you still operating on handshakes, or are you actually operating on solid legal foundations? What is the very first legal step you need to take today to protect your future empire? Whether it's picking up the phone to find a local business consultant for registration, or finally getting that long overdue supplier agreement in writing, just don't wait. Make your move, formalize your foundation, and watch your agribusiness thrive. Keep learning, keep structuring, and we'll see you in the next explainer.